Alrighty guys, welcome back to another LEGO Minifigure Series review, and today we have LEGO Minifigure Series 19, set number 71025, and this is the September 2019 Minifigure Series, and, it's got the new longer style packaging, sort of a lime green slash yellowish lime green, and you get the leaflet which comes folded up like that, and if we take a look at the full thing, it is the newer size of leaflet, and it shows all the figures on the front, as well as how to build some of them on the back. And we're going to take a look through at each figure individually, and we're going to do it this time in order of my personal least favorite to my least favorite. So, you can stay tuned and find out which figures I like the most, which figures I don't like all that much, and my overall thoughts on the series will come at the very end of the video. So stay tuned for that. And starting off, we have the mummy, and yeah, it's just not the most exciting figure to me. We've gotten mummies before, not only in the Collected Minifigures theme, there was the Series 3 mummy, but outside of that, we've had them in like Pharaoh's Quest, Scooby-Doo, Monster Fighters. Every time they come up with a monsters sort of theme, you're going to get a mummy in it. A Series 14 it didn't have a mummy, so, that was the only exception, but I guess it's been a long time since we got one of these, but this is sort of a combination between the Series 3 mummy and the Egyptian warrior from Series 16, and it's just not too exciting for me. It's well done, don't get me wrong. The accessory's a little boring. It's just a golden scorpion. We've gotten those before. I think this is a version in the new Pearl Gold, though, so I think that's slightly different, but nothing too exciting. She does have good printing on her arms, and her legs are dual molded. I would have preferred for the bandage printing to go down a little bit further. I don't know if it can, but that would have been nice to see at least. And good printing on the back of the torso as well. This mold, again, was introduced for the Series 16 Egyptian warrior, and has a little bit of good printing on the front this time. And I like her face, sort of. It's an improvement. I like having the golden mask there, and the alternate expression as well, if you want her to look like a creepy zombie. This one kind of is weird, and definitely going to be displaying it with the other face, but overall there's just nothing to draw me to this figure, and that's why it's my least favorite. My second least favorite is the Fright Night, and I don't think this is a bad figure. It's got a decent amount of interesting things going for it, but just the concept of a Fright Night and the overall execution doesn't make me fall in love with this figure. Like, it's well done again, just like the mummy. We've got the new shield front with the reference to the Fright Nights. I appreciate that. Nice to throw back to an old theme, but not a theme that I was particularly attached to or anything. And, it's just this newer style of shield held this way. And, I like the translucent sword. I think that's my favorite part of this figure. But he's got the helmet, which underneath has this really interesting face. Like, kind of creepy looking. But appropriately, again, it is the Fright Night. Also this new feather in that light blue color. And he's got good printing on his armor. No back print on the armor, but if we remove that, you can see they did not skimp out on torso printing, because that's a pretty good looking chainmail design there. It looks really good. He's got dual molded legs as well, with some good printing on the front of it, and on the front of the legs as well. No side printing on the legs, but that's fine. Didn't need to be there, and no arm printing on this one, but I think they did a good job with it, and it has more interesting accessories. And yeah, I like the Firefighter better than the Fright Night. I think part of it is just that I don't care too much about the whole monster theme. It's always been one of my least favorite, subtype of CMF, so that's probably part of it. But this Firefighter is really well done, I think. I know a lot of people dislike it just because they already have so many firefighters, but I do think this is one of the best firefighters that they've ever made as a minifigure. I mean, if that matters, if you're collecting every firefighter ever. But I just like it. I think that they did a really good job with having the stripes go around the sides. I think that's just a nice touch. And the arm printing as well. That's good. Torso print is very similar to what you see in city sets. So I guess that's the one kind of least impressive part. But I like the new hair hat combo. I think that's good. Of course, I would be shocked if we don't see it in city sets, but then again, I don't think we've seen the Barbara Gordon hair hat combo. Maybe we have. Maybe I'm just not paying attention to city sets. But the megaphone piece has new printing, so that's nice. Nice to see that again after Flipwick. And the face print is pretty cool. She's got the kind of screaming expression, or like disgruntled screaming, as well as a just pretty neutral one, and both of those look pretty good. Overall, I like this figure, but it's nothing special. I mean, it's a very useful figure, especially if you have any sort of city layout. You can just very, very easily plop this right in, so that's nice, but I mean, if you don't have a city and if you don't care about city stuff, I don't think this is a must-have figure. It's just a nice bonus. And then we have the rugby player, and I don't know anything about rugby, so I'm not super drawn to this figure, but I do think that it has a decent design to it. I appreciate the new football piece mold. Here it's listed as a Rugby Supreme ball, so it's got that branding on there. Again, I'd be shocked if we don't see that printed as a football, an American football, in the future. But his leg print is good. It's got the printing going around the sides, as well as a little logo on the bottom, printing on the other side too. He's got dual molded arms, which are nice, and the torso print is fine. Nothing too crazy special, but I do appreciate getting a rugby player minifigure, and that's the reason why it's higher than the firefighter. I think they're on par detail-wise, aside from one thing, that's his face. This guy's face, his front face is nice, but his alternate face is kind of funny. I prefer the front face still, but I like getting this expression where he's nice and beat up. But, just because he's a rugby player, it gets a little bit of a boost over the firefighter. And next up we have the biker, and I don't know, this is a difficult one to place. I think objectively getting this bike is a really cool thing, and I mean, I can't really complain about that. I believe both the wheel center colors and the bike frame colors are exclusive. This isn't a new mold of bike. It first appeared in the City Outdoor Adventures People Pack, but it's definitely kind of unheard of to get it with the CMF, so I don't know, it's definitely better than the previous ones here, but I don't know, just objectively, the design of the minifigure itself, I'm not a huge fan of. I like the vibrant coral torso. Again, that really doesn't show up super well on camera for me, so I apologize there. But the Band-Aid print on her arm, that's awesome. I like that a lot. And the back printing on her torso is really good. Her face is nice. I mean, this expression I don't particularly care about. It's just looks like that. But I like the glasses expression. And her hair helmet combo is really nice. I like that a lot. Yeah, it looks good. I like it. And, it fits over that pretty well. But I don't know, there's just something about it, this figure, that doesn't completely do it for me. The leg print, again, it's nice and dual molded and printed on the sides. So I don't know why I'm not a huge fan of the final look of this figure, but just not, so I gotta place it here. Next up we have the knockoff Care Bear, basically. I think this is an interesting figure. They officially call it just a bear costume guy, but I don't know if that really describes what it is. But this is probably the simplest in terms of detailing in the entire series. It just has that print on the torso as well as the printing on the mask. And he does have this kind of nice rainbow accessory, which I like, and I might want to get another one of those for a certain reason. But he's also got the little vibrant coral heart, which is a new color for that piece. And he's got an arm in vibrant coral, as well as the bear mask, which is vibrant coral with printing in medium azure, or maybe that's dark azure, and then this flame yellowish orange. And underneath that, he's got a really kind of goofy facial expression, and another more sincere smiling one. He's kind of tall for a little bear costume kid, or maybe this is an adult who dresses in a bear costume, who knows, but it's a pretty good looking figure, and I'm glad to have it. It's just not a standout in the series. And next up we have the Monkey King, and this is one that I wasn't particularly excited for based on initial appearances in the series. I mean, it's really cool to get this. If you don't know who the Monkey King is, it's a mythological Chinese figure, sort of a legend centuries ago in China. But it's a pretty well detailed figure here, and I'm actually impressed with the final result. And I haven't mentioned it before, but you do get extra pieces with the series, so you do have an extra of like this flag and one of these lightsaber hilts and the 3 long bar. But this is just a cool looking figure. They print gold along the front of his tailpiece, which, yes, he has a tail piece, and this cool little cloth piece, which has the two little side things, and some good printing on the back of his torso, as well as on the front of his torso. Just the level of detail is really good. And he's got dual molded dark red and gold arms, which is cool. And printing on his legs is also nice, and they're dual molded. Overall, just a good level of detail here. I like his front facial expression, and he has this new monkey sort of headgear. Also, this really happy expression, which is kind of funny. But he has this new monkey sort of headgear, which is kind of cool, and it's got a hole in the top for you to fit in one of these Overwatch kind of tassel flag pieces. And I don't know, overall it just looks cool, and this is a very unique sort of CMF. We've never gotten anything really similar to a Monkey King before. So I'm happy to add this to the collection, and I mean, based on initial expectations, this would have been in my bottom 3. But I'm actually really impressed at the way that this turned out. Of course, the Monkey King's accessory is a little bit lame, and I was flip-flopping between these two, putting this guy or the Monkey King above the other, trying to figure that out, and I ultimately decided that this one has better accessories, so I went with this. And it's got we've got a little white laptop piece with her, which is cool. Kind of represents a MacBook, which we've never got anything like before. We've only gotten this piece in black and maybe dark gray, but never in white before, so that's cool. And there's no printing or anything on the inside for the screen. It's just plain in there, but it's definitely cool to get still. And she does have dual molded arms as well as dual molded legs, where the whole front is printed in dark gray, which is really cool. And she's got a sweater kind of going around the back of her. That's a really neat design there. A little bit of back printing on the torso, and the front has some numbers. What do those mean? Well, that's actually binary for Lego, which is cool. And her accessory, her other one, is this little robot that she's been programming, which comes with 2 of those 1x2 curved plates in dark blue, as well as this printed 1x1 brick, which is awesome. It just looks cool. It's actually built around one of those Overwatch guns, which I actually had not gotten any of. This is the first one I got, so it was cool. And her face print is nice on the front. She does have that new hairpiece from the amusement park people back, and she does have an alternate expression where she's smiling a little bit more. And next up is the Bath guy, also in that sort of middle tier. Monkey King, Coder Girl, this guy, and the figure who we'll see in a second were all kind of on the same level for me, and I had a tough time deciding between them. But this guy's pretty cool as well. He does come with the green rubber duck accessory, which is obviously the coolest individual piece of this figure, but the rest of it is cool as well. And this is nice to get. It originated again in that same fun, fair sort of people pack, and that just attaches to one stud on the bottom. He also comes with a hairbrush in blue, which I believe we've seen that before. I don't think that's anything special, but I don't think it's the most common color of that part, so again, it's nice to get. And he does come with the shower cap in white, which came in a couple of this year's City Space sets, and he does have a little bit of printing on the front of his torso and a little bit on the back. Usually when, it's just a no-shirt torso, they don't have back printing, so there's a little bit different here. And he's got a really happy expression here on the front, maybe singing in the shower or something. And he's got this other one where someone accidentally sees him with his towel off, which I guess we have to show you. That is a little cloth piece, sort of like a skirt, but if we remove that, we'll find that I actually don't have to censor this video because he's covered in bubbles already that automatically censor him. But I don't know, I like the use of this cloth piece too. So that's a pretty nice figure, and we haven't gotten anything sort of like this guy at all in Brass CMF series, so this is another sort of new archetype, I guess. And then we have the Trendy Grandma, and I don't know, this is kind of a interesting figure here. Basically mainly on the accessory choice. This flamingo is awesome, and I love it so much. It's on a bar, and this bar is like a solid hard plastic, and the pink is all rubber, and you can move the head side to side and up and down. And the printing on there is really good, and it just fits onto one stud. I like this piece a lot, but I feel like I don't know, it looks like a living flamingo, not necessarily just one of those ones that you'd stick in your garden. But obviously what she's doing is gardening, and she just had one of these plant pieces. You'd get a spare with that in the figure. And her torso print is pretty good with the flower design, and her leg print is good. It's got the printing going around the side. She's got dual molded arms as well as lime-colored gloves, and a little bit of back printing on her torso. Her hair is a nice new color for this piece. She has no alternate expression, and her front expression is pretty good. Her face and hair are the same as the teacher from the Lego Ninjago movie, so that's a cool little Easter egg. I guess this is almost a Lego Ninjago movie CMF. I wonder if they had designed the head and hair for a potential school set or whatever, and then just didn't use it, so they put it here. Who knows? But probably not. They probably just intentionally made this an Easter egg. But it's a pretty decent figure. I feel like the flamingo would have been a cool accessory to include with a zookeeper CMF instead of a gardener, but I guess, I don't know, maybe that frees up another animal that could come with another zookeeper CMF if they revisit that sort of profession in the future. And next, at number 6, we have the Intergalactic Bounty Hunter, and this figure is really cool. I like it a lot. Like, with this, we're moving into the figures that are, like, really, really awesome. This is pretty much on par with the next one that we'll see. So, yeah, it's really cool. I like the Wanted Built or Broken Reward 3 million studs. That's a nice piece there. It's the book cover in translucent red with printing on it. And he's got a space blaster as well. I like the printing on his torso and on his legs. Pretty good. No arm printing or anything. He uses the Mr. E shoulder pads. And he's got a Ant-Man / Firefly helmet, which is cool. And if we remove all that, we can see a little bit more on the back of his torso, as well as a little bit of printing on the back of his head. And he also has some, like, blue alien skin on the front there of his face. This is a cool looking figure, and I think it fits right in with a bunch of the other space stuff that we've gotten from past CMF series. It kind of fits the same kind of overall color scheme and design. And he's got the little Blacktron logo on the center as well. So a little bit of Blacktron connection there too. I think this would go really well with the Series 11 Evil Mech. And next up we have the video game player or video game streamer or whatever you want to call him. And this is another really, really well done figure. This is almost the face of the series. I mean, he's one of the most prominent front row on the packaging. And I don't know, he feels like he's probably going to be one of the most, like, he's one of the most common in the series, but he feels like he's probably going to be one of the most desirable as well. He's just really cool. I like him a lot. He's got his 2x3 tile printed with a Playbox game, and has a image of the Series 16 cyborg lady called Space Game. And that's cool. I like that. Great accessory. But even better is this new video game controller, which he can hold via the anti-stud on the bottom, or it's actually the width of a tile, so you can put it in the hand of a minifigure like that. And it's just a really cool accessory. I like that, and I'd like to see more of those in the future, maybe one in white too. But the printing on his torso is really good. I like the logo in the center with the headphones on the brick. And he's got a little keychain on his legs, which is nice. And really good printing for this awesome torso. I like that. And the hair is the same that they've used for Poe and some other pilot dudes in Star Wars. I think there have been like 2 color combinations. This is the only one with green hair though. And I like the little headphones on there with a little microphone. And his front face print is nice. I like that. But if you want him to get a little bit more focused and win the game, or maybe he's mad because he lost, then he's got this alternate, slightly more determined or angry expression. Overall, this is a really great figure. And yes, we got the video game player in Series 10, or 12, not 10. And that was cool, but I do think that this is a little bit better execution of a very similar sort of figure. But, I mean, both of them can easily coexist. And next up is the pizza guy, and I think this is the best of the food costumes. It definitely makes way more sense than the melon guy from the Lego Movie 2 series. But it's still a really cool figure, and definitely one of my favorites in the series. I like the printing on this pizza mask sort of piece. And no printing on the back, he's kind of simple around there. But he's got really good printing on the legs. Kind of a nice Italian sort of look. And the pizza menu that he's got holding there, sort of like a sign, He kind of feels like he'd be the guy standing outside the restaurant telling you to go inside, spinning a sign around. He seems like that's the kind of guy that he is. And he's got a nice face print underneath as well. There is no alternate expression for him, so it's a little bit unfortunate, but I think that this is probably the best executed of all the food costume guys, and probably makes the most sense as well. So overall, I'm a pretty big fan of this figure, and it's one of my favorites in the series. He's also very, very easy to feel for, so if you want just him, just go feel a couple bags, eventually you'll come across this giant triangle thing. Starting off this top 3 is our Fox Girl, and her eyes seem like, on my copy at least, seems like this face is printed a little bit far up, but it's got the tongue sticking out expression, and if we were to turn this around, you can see we got the other face, which is printed a little bit low, maybe, but I don't know, that fits the mask just a little bit better. So keep that in mind. I may end up getting a second one and see if the face turns out the same, but I wouldn't be disappointed because I really, really love this figure. I think they did a great job with it. The white is not as opaque as it should be if you were to compare it with some white plastic. For example, you can see this is definitely a little bit whiter, but this isn't as bad as some other examples, especially since all of the white printed on her is the same shade of white. Maybe this is a little bit more opaque, but there's no white plastic here. The hen here is a nice new color, actually, of that chicken piece. It's tan here. We've gotten it previously in white and brown, or dark tan, like this color. Which, actually, I guess I could have just said the color of her sack. Her sack is not a new color, but it is nice to get here, because they really didn't need to give this character any accessories at all. They usually don't give like animal suit characters very many accessories, if at all. So I'm really surprised they went in and threw a whole chicken. But I'm not complaining at all. I really like the dual molding for the legs as well, and that tail is awesome. I like the printing on the very tip. And yeah, the printing on the torso is great. The printing on the mask is great. The molding on the mask is great. And she's got a double-sided face. Like, this might not be one of my favorite costume figures, but it's probably the one that they put the most effort into, and the accessories here are awesome. Definitely push this above, say, the pizza guy. And next up we have the adventurer, or Johnny Thunder knockoff sort of character here. And this is a really nice, modern day look for Johnny Thunder, or whatever. They call him the Jungle Explorer. But this just looks really cool. I like the magnifying glass. I mean, it's nice to get one of those. They exist in regular sets, so they're not, super hard to get, but they haven't come in too many sets recently, so let's just see that they're still around. And the Chameleon here is the real draw of this figure. That's such a good mold. They did a great job with that, and they didn't really need to include it here. I would probably have bought this figure if it didn't come with a Chameleon, even if I wasn't a full-on CMF collector. I just think that the minifigure itself looks really good. So I'm pretty happy with this guy. He's got dual molded legs, as well as this nice backpack, new color for that. And good printing on the torso, good printing on the legs. I like his face. It looks sort of Johnny Thunder-like, but it's not, identical. So it is a new thing, and it's significantly different enough. His hat is a nice mold. I think that's the one that they introduced for the Lone Ranger. And if we were to turn around and remove his backpack, we will see that there is more printing to see underneath there. Overall, I think that this is just a cool looking figure with an accessory that really wasn't necessary. Definitely one of the best figures in the series, and this is definitely the best Explorer figure that we've gotten throughout all the CMFs. And last but not least, at my number 1 spot, we have the Dog Walker. And this figure is just so over the top. First of all, a Dog Walker is a new thing. We haven't seen any Dog Walkers before. We've seen figures include dogs in past CMF series, but a Dog Walker is nice to get. I like this new hair hat combo, which has been in city sets for a while, but this is a new color combination and design for it. Nice to get the paw print up there. But, as you just saw, there are some other things that make this figure really special. But before that, we're just going to take a quick look at the actual minifigure. The legs are dual molded and printed around the sides. And she's got dual molded arms, as well as 2 faces. One of them for when she's picking up maybe some poop. Because look, she comes with a new mold for some dog poop. And you actually get an extra of that as well. Also, will probably be used as soft serve ice cream, which is kind of gross, but kind of cool at the same time. And the other accessory is this shovel, which it's not even just an old color of shovel. It is a brand new color, in bright green there, which is nice to get. And that's just the minifigure alone. Because not only did they include this minifigure, but in the same bag you get this new dachshund, and that's a cool piece. It's 3 studs long, with the head extending, but the base is 3 studs. Normal like big dogs are 4 studs, right? Or are they 3 studs? Maybe I'm confused now. I think they're 3 studs, but you got the 1 stud in the center, which is nice, and a little bit of printing on the front, and that's really cool. You know, nice to get a new dog. But that's not all, because they also include a second dog, which is not a new mold. This is originally used with the Connoisseur in, I think it was Series 17. But in the original, the first one of these that we got was in tan with, you know, some different printing. This is another exclusive dog. And, yeah, they included 2 brand new dogs in one CMF, as well as giving that CMF, you know, exclusive dual molding and another new mold. They went above and beyond with this figure, and I think it definitely shows. This is definitely going to be the most popular series, and I'm a big fan of the way this turned out. Maybe we'll end up seeing, like, these dogs reprinted in city sets, but even then still, they originated here, and, like, including 2 dogs with 1 CMF, I think, is really good value for $4. So, I am a huge fan of this one, and I think that they're definitely doing something right with this. I think this series did a lot of things right. I think they did a great job with, you know, choosing what kinds of characters to throw in here. They did a great job, you know, giving these characters cool accessories. Everything about this series was really, like, well done. I can't think of anything here that was, like, done poorly. I mean, my least favorite character selections here are the Mummy and the Fright Night, as you saw, and I've seen people who really like those figures. Like the Fright Night has become popular amongst some Castle fans. The Mummy, I think, is probably universally the least liked, but still, I think there's people who are going to appreciate it. You know, people who are fans of monsters and Halloween stuff. I think they'll like those 2 figures in particular. But I definitely, like, none of these figures, I would say, are bad. And I think that overall, they have raised the bar on CMFs with this series. I think Series 20 will be hard to top this, but I assume they probably have something special in store for that series. I do think that, you know, overall, this is really well done, and I'm very happy with the overall execution here. I do think that it's especially nice that they didn't even have to resort to recycling old, you know, old types of figures that we got in past series. They've introduced a lot of new kinds of things here. Like, yeah, we have a new grandma, we have a new explorer, we got a new kind of knight, and a new mummy, but I guess sort of new space guy and new gamer. But like the rugby player, that's new. The biker, that's new. Dog walker, that's new. Monkey king, that's for sure new. Shower guy, that's new. I guess you could say that's recycling a bear, but I guess it's sort of recycling the Series 7 computer guys, computer programmer. And you could argue that that's recycling the melon suit guy, but I think Pizza Guy is significantly new and different enough. But overall, I think this is a fantastic series, probably one of the best that have come out, probably a top, I'd say definitely top 10, I don't know, maybe top 5, we'll see. Out of all of the, you know, numbered series, it probably is top 5, but maybe some of the licenses pushed it out of that. But yeah, I'm really actually happy with this. Definitely sort of makes up for Series 18, which I found a little bit underwhelming after getting it. But here, I'm still all as impressed as I was based on the pictures, so that's a good thing. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you did, let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know who are your favorites in this series. Are there any you're going to be picking up, any you're not going to be picking up, any you're going to be getting multiples of? I guess to answer that question, I can tell you I already got a second dog walker, so yeah, we'll see about all the others. But hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you did, let me know in the comment section down below. And I'll see you guys all next time. Bye, everyone.